Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/TTD. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
It is April 28th, 2011, and I am Jason, and with me I have Bob.
It's 2012.
What did I say?
2011.
Whatever.
It's better in October, I guess. But it is a fucking year off.
That's pretty hot. But anyway, we also have Paul, Bob.
I'm silently embarrassed.
And me. So, welcome back, everybody. It's been a good week. We've got a great show for everybody. Even though we don't know what year it is, and
we think it's 2012,
and
we're not sure.
and it might be April because apparently I said October before.
It feels like October. I'll give you that.
Yeah, the windows are cracked, and there was coffee passed around earlier.
Yes, there was, and now it's just beer, and that's probably the problem.
Yeah.
So what's new? Anybody?
What's new with you, Bob?
I got nothing.
No.
Well, I got something. I went to Blood on the Beach, which was a horror convention, I think the first of its kind here in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
I ran out of money.
Yeah. I shouldn't have spent the money that I spent, but it was fun. I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that they're going to start doing it twice a year. They brought some huge names out for it. And, you can go to my Facebook page to see the photos. I'm not going to do that. I got a couple autographs from peeps of Friday the 13th. But it was really fun. It was awkward a little bit because, as we talked about before the show, it had that zoo effect to it. It's like you're walking around and that feeling that you have in the zoo, which is kind of weird. You're like, this is not right. It's like they were like in aquariums or in cages and stuff, and you're like, who is that? Let me casually look on what their table is.
Do you guys watch Entourage?
I mean, I've seen a few episodes, but I'm not a...
One of the best story arcs in Entourage is when Johnny Drama starts going to sci-fi conventions because he used to be on that show Viking Quest, and it is hilarious. And they talk about that very issue where he's like, gotta get in the in the fishbowl and see the fans, and on one hand he's like, I don't know, it just sometimes like it's great that you have a guy who wants to be with the fans and interact with them and like, hey, really, thanks for coming out, blah, blah, blah. But then there's the other guy who's just like, I do this because I have to and I hate myself for it. Well,
I think everybody that I interacted with was very, very, very nice. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is, this I have to be here or it's embarrassing and I don't really want to talk to you.
See,
they were really nice.
That's how I picture life being for the guy that played Eddie Monster.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's his life.
He's just kind of always... Like, he still goes to those things, and he's signing pictures of himself as, like, a 6-year-old. It's just weird to me, but...
I mean,
I had a couple come up to me at the video store today, and they wanted me... Because there was that picture of me and the dog in that local magazine,
right?
So they had that. They wanted me to like autograph it from the dog, and then they held him and the magazine up, and I took pictures.
That is hilarious.
But we got to say, Bob is breaking out of his shell of being famous because of the dog. He was in a coffee shop on last weekend, right?
Yeah.
And somebody come up to you and go, hey, you're the guy from This Non-Religious Life.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I forget his name and all.
You're not supposed to say that on air.
Wow, dude, already.
Your only fan. And
I know. Fucking Lady Gaga would know it. She'd be like, oh, yeah.
I was a little taken. I was just trying to get coffee. I felt like
I'm just trying to get coffee, guy.
Yeah, like I wasn't. I was happy to have the guy say something, but then at the same time, I wanted to run away. Because I was like, I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like what? At least I've heard.
Yeah, and also like I feel like at the same time, if I ask somebody like, "All right, man, hey, thanks, you really like the show," I'm afraid they're gonna be like, no. I think you're
no. The guy Ken's kind of smart, but you guys, you could be like, oh, no. I don't feel you add much to the conversation.
Well, we already have somebody saying that for the other show. I mean, not saying that, but Bob is the bearded guy, Ken is the skinny guy, and I'm the guy that's embarrassed of both of them.
Wow.
I think it's one of those things, like, you know how, like, some people, how they, you know, they have their dog, and they're always like, man, I wish my dog could talk, right?
Yeah.
I don't wish that at all. Because I'm really, really afraid that if my dog could talk, he'd be like, nah, I really didn't like you that much.
Yeah.
I keep bringing that goddamn ball back, and all you do is throw
it away. I'm trying to keep it over there.
I'm really afraid of that.
Like, you bastard.
I just want it by your goddamn feet. Just leave it alone.
Awesome.
I'm like, I imagine all these possibilities of criticism.
You're right.
He's like, no, you're just afraid. He's like, you remember all those times that you had those people taking my picture? I wanted money for that shit.
Yeah.
I look at myself because I have nothing to do. You have a car and you're still alone in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Don't think I don't see you.
Yeah. I know, God damn it. I've got like 20 times the sense of smell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. If your dog could talk, he'd tell stories.
Yeah. You fucking stink. Don't think I don't know what you're doing when you shut the bedroom door.
Yeah, don't wish your animals to speak. Not at all. Never good.
Why do you think we have no?
Yeah.
But anyway. So
awesome.
that's our little personal lives of our animals. Zombie Popcorn, if you go to the website, starting Monday, we are giving away, if you're a newsletter subscriber, you already know this and have already entered, but we're giving away tickets to see Dark Shadows, event screening tickets for that. So on Monday,
where are they screening it at?
Same place, or
Lynnhaven?
Yeah. And it's on a Tuesday. So it's going to be tight for tickets for me this time because there's been a lot of people who signed up for the newsletter, and for every contest we do, they get first pickings.
Right.
And so if you want to get in on the contest, I have 4 event screening tickets already lined up, and they're going to be back to back, and plus I have another contest that is coming up. So if you want to get advance notices on the contest, sign up for the newsletter. If not, just wait for it to hit the website. So it's awesome. So you said you saw Cabin in the Woods.
I did, yeah.
I saw it as well.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was fun.
It was fun.
Well, give my short thing. It started off really fucking slow.
Yeah.
But as soon as they found the secret door, it got kick ass.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, the whole cabin part is good. And, you know, it's funny. It's poking fun at the genre. But I really expected, you know, I was under the impression that it was, like, way intense because it was horrific.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was pretty much a comedy. You know, I had no idea.
It was campy as from hell.
Do what?
It was very campy.
Yeah, it was really fun. I also didn't know that it was Whedon. Like, someone told me, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
It was what?
It's Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
Oh,
Joss.
I didn't hear what you said. So
Joss.
I always want to throw that H on there.
I know.
I don't know.
But yeah, so it was really fun.
Yeah,
and
the unicorn scene.
Oh, that was it. That was the deal. The music.
Yeah,
It was good. It's
if you haven't seen it yet, you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go see it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? But it's definitely good. And I have Piranha 3DD news for you. There's a new trailer out. Not a red band trailer, it's a green band.
Boo.
Yeah.
But there's more Hasselhoff in it. It's hitting theaters, of course, June 11th. And have y'all seen the new trailer?
Not the new green band, just the last red band one.
I still think this is going to be awesome. I mean, the green band trailer is pretty much the same as the red band, except for the nudity and the gore's missing.
Right.
It's just it focuses more on the humor and the story behind of how the piranha get into the water park.
Yeah, I rewatched Piranha. I think I may have told you the other week, and and when I was watching it, I finally clicked that it's the same lifeguard, the guy that's like, give me my legs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, he loses it, and they don't really show it. They just show him get attacked.
Yeah.
And you never see anything. And
But he's definitely.
Like, oh yeah, he's in there.
Yeah.
Bing Rames.
Ving Rhames, yeah. He's definitely in the second one, and he uses the same line in the trailer, in the new trailer, but instead of saying "give me my legs," he goes "give me my guns," and they kind of do they'd kind of do the death proof, gun on the leg, or not death proof, but
Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
I watched that movie right after I watched Piranha.
Yeah, did you really?
Yeah, I had a double feature. I was like, all right,
you're like cool.
Well, maybe it was the next day.
Yeah,
but it was still better than working. So.
Of course, any day. So, you're quiet tonight, Bob.
Sleepy.
He's pontificating.
I was out drinking last night. What happened? I'm still on 1/4 impulse power. I didn't think I had that much to drink, but apparently I did.
You were running. I saw you running down the street. He was running down the street nude. So.
I'm going to mute this. It just fell off on me. Hang on.
What happened?
You broke it.
He did.
It doesn't screw.
Just stick it on there.
Just jam it in there.
Just jam it.
It's not supposed to.
So for the people who just listen to the audio side of it, if you're not watching the video, Paul's mic just fell into his lap.
Just broke some shit.
Need to get it threaded once, son.
It was threaded until people fucked with it.
Didn't look like it was threaded.
No, it is threaded. The thread's still on the thing.
You
really?
yanked the threads out of the plastic.
Really?
Yeah, that's what happened. But it's been like that for a while.
Oh, okay.
Bet you could crazy glue that.
We could do it. But anyway, it works. And if it falls in your lap again, whatever. Friday 13th.
The first thing tonight that's
What's that?
been spilled on my lap. So.
Oh yeah. And hopefully you're not talking about the drink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Friday 13th documentary is coming out. Have you seen the book Crystal Lake Memories?
No.
I haven't actually seen it, but I've seen it. I've seen it online, but physically I haven't seen it. They're doing a documentary based on that. It's the same people who did His Name Was Jason documentary, and they're doing.
So when do you decide to stop? Like how many the same people are?
Yeah,
we can go to the well again.
But I think because the book goes into such great detail and pulls out stuff that they didn't do in His Name Is Jason, because His Name Is Jason, they just focused on Voorhees.
Okay.
And this here actually focuses on everything, not necessarily just the actors and stuff, but the storyline and the behind the scenes stuff.
The whole world.
Yeah.
And,
I love movies about movies, man. I think that's great. Like every movie that ever gets made there's a story about every movie that ever gets made. There's a story, and I think those are interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds like the VH1 punchline for
the stories behind the stories.
Yeah. Behind the albums
true,
or
though.
something. Yeah. But one day there's going to be a story
about the story,
about the making of the story.
Then they make it gets really meta, right? Because so there's Orson Welles making Citizen Kane, and then there's the movie about getting Citizen Kane made is RKO 183, and then there's probably a movie about making RKO 183. Guys who it's layered.
It is. That's deep.
It's very meta.
It's sad. So, are you excited about a documentary? Have y'all seen the other documentaries?
No, I've never been a big Friday the 13th fan.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, I mean, the first couple are awesome, but no,
the first three are awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
See, I think the weakest one was the one in 3D.
Oh, it was the third in 3D. It never fails. It's always
right.
we have to do it.
Yeah, I never. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And
you can go to hell.
Yeah. And it was all that gimmicky 3D where
that's the best 3D.
That's the best.
That's the best 3D though.
But
I've trained Paul.
I know. So I went to buy my tickets for Cabin in the Woods, and I was like, "So where are the glasses?" It's like it's not in 3D, and I actually went. oh, like I totally thought it was because it looked like that kind of movie, but it was actually made in 2008. And,
Yeah, because
and put on the shelf for a while because of MGM's bankruptcy or something like that. So.
I think they did a great job with the film. The film is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with all the hype online. It's a game changer. It's
none of that. None of that.
But it was
That's
fun.
why I wanted to see it. But I walked out amused.
Yeah,
it's just a funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time Riley was like, before the transition, the big transition, Riley was like, "What is this, Evil Dead? This is just Evil Dead." And,
yeah.
But I did like all the the tilting of the hat to when they were in the cabin, everything, all.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the entire cabin. It's just like the only thing it was missing was that swing.
Yeah,
going, and I loved all the cliches and the. I loved the speakerphone bit. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's like, "You got me on speakerphone again."
Yeah, don't ruin it for Bob, but or other listeners. But it's a fun movie. It's worth checking out.
Yeah. So we just keep going back.
It's not gonna like blow your mind or change.
You'll
totally
walk out of there
changed
happy.
all the my preconceptions of the entire horror genre.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
That won't happen.
No.
You'll walk out of the movie happy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And all the nods, like you see the two twins
from
The Shining in the box, and
Japan.
Her spirit is in the front. Yeah.
Sorry,
Good times.
we're talking about this. We don't want to give away anything, but
so it's just words like
Japan, woo, frog.
Yeah,
This makes
Helsinki.
good. This makes good.
Yeah,
good
I'm sure it does. Anyway,
yeah. So were y'all a Hatchet movie fan?
Yeah, it was okay. It was
Just
all right.
okay. Hatchet 2?
No.
You didn't like Hatchet 2?
No.
I haven't seen any of them. None of them
they're just genre
really
films.
did anything for me.
Well,
although I did like the clip we played from Hatchet 2 where the guy is, I think, is that the one? He's having sex in the woods.
Oh.
And she's like, do you love it more than Jesus? And he's like, I think that's kind of wrong or that's weird, but he's like, more than ice cream, yes. But
and he gets decapitated.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah,
but
that was a good clip, and awkward. But they're making Hatchet 3. It's in production now, and Kane Holder, which he was in the original. I don't know if he was in the second one because I haven't seen it. But he's returning for 3. And for those who don't know, Kane Holder is best known for his role as Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th. And he was there at Blood on the Beach.
Really? And
I was looking for him, and from all the photos and from all the movies and the documentaries, I thought this motherfucker was going to be huge. Just because
he's a big guy.
He's a big guy, and he was sitting at a table, and I'm like looking around, and Miley's like, "Who are you looking for?" And I'm like, "Kane Holder," and she's like, tapping me on the shoulder and pointing at him. I'm like, oh, he's sitting down. It totally didn't look like him.
Yeah, I thought you'd be taller.
I thought you would be like scarier and just rah. But he's a really nice guy. But I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But I was just thrown off. I don't know if I'm going to go see Hatchet 3 just because I'm not into the Hatchet films.
It'll probably be just a direct-to-video thing.
Yeah.
You
think so?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like the last Hellraisers.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to watch the new ones.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures of them. They look pretty
Have
bad.
you seen the trailers for them?
No, I haven't. I've just seen the art. Although I did read The Hellbound Heart finally.
That is an awesome good book.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I was
it's really
reading
thin.
and well, yeah. And I was just like, this is pretty much exactly the movie.
Yeah.
They did a really good, except there's no mention of, Pinhead really in the story. It's just they mentioned a couple Cenobites and they're barely in the book.
Yeah.
But I was, since you've seen it, you're like, oh, and this is when this is supposed to happen. And I mean, it's a really quick read, but
yeah, exactly. Because when I
liked it, but I was a little disappointed just because
it was so.
I just, I was like, oh, It was like I had to do it to say I did it.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things. But yeah, it did make me want to, like, you know, so I could say, oh yes, I've read this and all these other Clive Barker books. I've finished his, you know, all his works, but I haven't. But it did make me want to go. Like, I used to have what was the other one? A Magica.
Oh
like
yeah,
massive. It was
that
like
is a brick.
super,
Yeah.
and I got halfway through. I was like in high school and then lost it or got bored. One or the other.
I think that's his thickest book that he put out. Yeah.
The last one I read by him was Mr. Be Gone.
Oh yeah, because we
which is pretty fun.
which is on Audible, and we did that.
Yeah, all his books though, I'm always amazed, except for A Magica that I've read, are just like I just breezed through them. There's something about his writing. Where I'm just like, and what was really weird about this book is because it wasn't with the other books of blood that it's sometimes coupled with, and you know it was just the novella, and it had like old people print. Like the font was massive, like it looks like a book for a fourth grader, but on the cover was a skull with nails. Right?
The copy I had,
it made it so much easier to read. I was like,
Are
big
you
font
old?
is kind of cool. Yeah. Fuck the Gideon's Bible, man. This is the deal. You know? Yeah, it was it was odd. I was like, huh.
awesome.
You have that sense of accomplishment. I'm turning pages left and right.
Yeah.
Well, like there's 3 words per page.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. The book was like, you know, 150 pages, and I'm like, if they put this shit in normal font, this would be like a 45-page book. You know.
Well, that's the thing, because I'm working on a book
Maybe
now.
that's why the font was so big, because they're like, it's got to be 150.
Yeah. Because brand new, it cost like $9.99 for this thing. I got it at a used bookstore, so. But still, yeah, it was just interesting.
That's funny. Because WeWorld, I think, was the last Clive Barker story that I read.
Yeah, and
because he created that into
that
a comic book, and I don't know if he's released it yet, but there was talks back a long time ago that he was doing an animated feature based on WeWorld.
Yeah,
which I would love to see.
At the bookstore, I found The Thief of Always, his kind of children's.
Well, there's also,
and I lost that book with the other one. I don't know what happened. Like all these books disappeared, but I almost got it. It's such a good book. I love that book.
Back in January when I first got my tablet, I was big on reading all, because I have a bunch of e-comics, and I have Thief of Always, the comics. And I read all those because I used to collect Clive Barker comic books all the time, and I just don't even. I do love reading them though. I'm a big Barker fan.
See, I liked his movies, and I really like Nightbreed, and
Nightbreed I love.
Hellraiser was a great movie,
which is Cabal if you want looking for the book.
Right.
Yeah.
And but the only 2 books by Barker that I've read was I Magica and The Great and Secret Show.
Oh, that's a good book too.
And they're I spent a lot of time reading them, and but I don't know, like I got frustrated with them because every time it's going in a direction where I'm like, oh man, this is so cool, it goes, takes a left turn and like totally steers away from that. And so the things that I really liked, it just took another direction. And so then I had to find something else to like in it, and then it would take another direction away from that. It was frustrating for me to read it that way. And both I Magica and The Great and Secret Show did that.
You should read the Nightbreed, the Cabal.
Yeah,
that's a good book too.
Yeah, I've heard that was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the movie is awesome.
I almost got Caves of Steel, but Hellraiser. No, I went out looking for it. This was the purpose. I went to the used bookstore.
Yeah, you want to get Caves of Steel.
But it was the night when he was going to Blood on the Beach, and I was bummed that I had the money to go, so I just went with
treated yourself to a little Clive
Barker.
Barker.
And I did find Kraftwerk's first album from like 1968 in there. So
did
I
you
had
get
to
it?
pick yeah, I mean it's a reissue, but it sounds nothing like, which I had read because I had read a Kraftwerk biography.
They just played in New York.
I know. And yeah, it's not at all. I knew it wasn't going to be very good, but it was like, I have to have this. Yeah.
All right, well, don't give up on Caves of Steel. Keep that on the back
no,
burner.
it's there. It's there.
That's awesome. I don't know what we're talking about. It is a
Clive
very
Barker.
no, but I'm just saying it's a very chill. I had to drink coffee before this. Show.
Yeah, it's a very relaxing atmosphere.
Very relaxed.
Soothing.
Some would say boring.
Whoa.
Oh no.
So, I'm gonna skip Bloody Benders because we're gonna come back to it, but or Binders, and I want to talk about Sam Raimi real quick. He is set to produce a reimaging of Poltergeist.
Yeah.
No director is attached to the film. But what do you think of that?
Yeah. But this is one of those things. Like Poltergeist is a great movie and it holds up.
Pretty
and
much
it's not
perfect.
That old.
Yeah.
And why do you got to remake it?
I mean, it's older than a lot of the remakes now, but
Yeah.
But you're right. I can't think of any scary movie that fucked up as many kids as Poltergeist did.
The clown, the tree.
Poltergeist wasn't super gory, so it was on more. And it wasn't like so bad that parents were like, no. But it was just bad enough to screw you up and make going to bed really bad. And this is back in the day when TV really did go off the air. And
I know. That's the thing. Like I don't know. Maybe that's
like I remember the jets flying. You know, when
they
kids
play the national anthem
at the end of the night,
and it's like the white noise, the static, and I can't see a staticky TV anymore without hearing Carol Ann run to the light.
And they had her who sweet woman, but a little creepy.
Way creepy.
And the clown, the tree, and every kid, not every kid, but quite a few of us had a tree that moved outside. Any storm, you saw the, and we had a little clown, like stuffed animal that was hidden in the closet because after everybody saw the movie, and it was like an actual little cute thing. But after seeing that, I was like,
not anymore.
Yeah, and of course the worst fear as a kid was always the hand grabbing under the bed.
Yeah.
Right, the clown. I mean. That thing ticked every damn childhood fear you could have. Storms, clowns, toys, floods.
Such a good movie.
Flash coming off in the shower.
I also think that Poltergeist is, I mean, it's one of those, it's so good that, one, it withstands scrutiny. The closer you look at it, the better it gets. And it stands up over time. I mean, it still holds up. It's still scary, even in our.
Not the sequels though.
No, they're crap. But and you know what I always thought was interesting? If you watch like Poltergeist is so brilliant that there's this moment in the beginning of the movie when everything is played out in the very beginning of the movie. They tell you everything that's going to happen. They tell you everything in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then it all plays out just like it told you it would. Because remember, they bury the bird dies, and they bury the bird in the garden, and then they plow over the garden to put something else there, just like they did with the housing development. Mm-hmm. There's all like this subtle, clever, brilliant foreshadowing in Poltergeist, and the remake's gonna fuck it up.
Even with Sam Raimi behind it.
He's producing. He's just throwing money.
Yeah, he's just throwing money at it, so he's not.
Sam Raimi, you can make any movie you want to make, right? Why do you make another version of Drag Me to Hell? I thought Drag Me to Hell was really good. Fucking cool.
Spider-Man and the
Why do you got to remake a movie that's already almost perfect?
Yeah.
Make another movie, and if it's his production company. Then it's lawyers and accountants talking, going, well, if we make a sequel, then the original villain is already an advertisement for the one.
Yeah.
We'll keep this frustration and keep for him to do another movie, because I want to throw this other story that deals with Sam Raimi into the mix of this same conversation, because he's teamed up with Disney, and he's doing Wizard of Oz, but it's gonna be called Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah, but it's not really Wizard of Oz. I mean,
well, it's based in that world.
Yeah, it's
that's
based in the world.
Yeah, but it's Disney and Sam.
It's about Oz, the wizard himself. It's not about Dorothy and her finding her way home in ruby slippers and meeting, the Tin Man.
You also forget L. Frank Baum wrote a lot of books.
Yeah.
about after the Wizard of Oz. I mean, there was Dorothy of Oz and Return to Oz, and I mean, there was a whole shitload of them. And
so there's this universe.
There's a whole unexplored universe. And
I like what I've read about him working on that. I think it sounds really cool.
So you think this is a better investment of his time than doing
Hands
Poltergeist?
Down. Yeah. I wish people would remake movies like all the
remake a crappy movie.
Yeah, the failed Corman ones, like the Killer Shrews or something like that. Something.
Well, they did do the
Leech,
the Trayfit or the what is it?
Crab People, anything, just something that would be cool. Day of the Triffids.
Yeah, they did a remake of that. Yeah,
I've always wanted to see that one.
The remake or the original?
No, the original.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what could I think? Like, could I think of a failed movie that would benefit from a remake? I don't know.
I mean, it all depends on how well it's done and how much integrity is in the film.
Planet of the Apes remake.
Well, we'll get to that.
That sucked.
Would benefit from a remake.
Yeah, remake the remake.
yeah. No, not Rise of Planet of the Apes. That was good.
That wasn't a remake.
No,
that was a movie that lived in the world, explored
and very
a new
good.
story. Yeah,
it
was very good.
That scene on the bridge is worth watching the whole movie. Yeah. It's an amazing scene. I don't know, a movie that could benefit from a remake. Jailbait by Ed Wood. It's not that bad,
Pick any Ed Wood.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Actually, Night of the Ghoul would be good.
Yeah, like what? Like I'm trying to think of a movie that I like, but I want it to be better.
Like I just watched. Was it X? The Man with X-ray Eyes, or something? It was a Roger Corman one where guys it's a 60s B movie with psychedelic kind of overtones, and it's a good one, but it could be better. It's not great, and it's just one of those that.
Well, I saw the documentary Machete Women.
Right.
The
Machete Maidens.
Maidens, that's right.
I did see that.
Yeah. Well, I watched
everything in the Philippines. I was going to bring it up, but I couldn't remember. I was.
But you think let's take that documentary and the films that they highlighted in that.
I've got a lot of those on my list now.
Yeah, totally. If they remade any of those, because those were bad movies, but there's just something about them that makes them fun to watch. Those are all bad movies, but remaking those, it's still, I don't know.
Well, you have to be careful what you pick and choose, because I think there are some that are so bad they're fun and they're good and they have a vibe and a cool tone to it.
Like it's like you like them because of their flaws.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do that, right? Because they're like, don't remake that movie because I like that movie being imperfect.
But some of them could benefit, even though I think even though it's an awesome movie, White Zombie is a really good movie. I think anyway. I think it could benefit from being remade just because no one really knows about it.
Right? Yeah, I see that because it is kind of
it's kind of like, but I've watched it again not that long ago, and I think it's better than a lot of the popular Universal. Yeah, that's good. Your eyes gonna be huge.
I'm controlling your mind now.
Look at that.
It's all it takes.
And one of those would be cool. I don't know.
But the way I see it, and I know this example I'm going to give is not a remake of each other, but whether you like it or not, Genetic the Repo Opera, I enjoyed it.
Repo the Genetic Opera.
What did I say?
Strike
Genetic
that.
the Repo Opera.
Man, I don't know. There's something wrong with me tonight.
Untied.
Woo! Repo the Genetic Opera. I enjoyed that film. And then there was, several months later came another film called Repo Men, which is the same story, but not...
It's the same concept, yeah.
And that's the way I see that them doing a remake of, films like that.
Both of those... Repo Men was based off of a book. I would assume that Repo the Genetic Opera is based off of the same book.
Well, no, I'm just saying that.
I think you've got two interpretations of this book over here.
Well, I was just using that as an example
Yeah.
in terms of like if that movie was done back in the Corman days, the genetic Repo the Genetic Opera, and then there was a remake. I feel that the modern day remake of that would be Repo Man, the
I see what you mean.
pumped up, beefed up,
not just a remake or a rehash, but a completely new take on an old
where it's all action packed,
Yeah.
and similar to what they did at 21 Jump Street.
Well, I would say
without the comedy.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory versus Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Granted,
I
mean
saw-
they're both based off of a book, but the original, the one from the 70s, or is it late 60s? I don't know.
Wilder.
Yeah. Is awesome.
Yeah, it is
Still
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
The remake,
Tim Burton didn't do that justice.
no,
No.
not at all. It was a failure. And that's another one with, and when the first one came out, it was kind of, everybody was like, but it's become such a cult classic.
Yeah,
Right.
It
that,
grows.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that one should have been touched, but I know what you're saying. I mean, you can totally ruin the vibe,
And
that the
I
other one
honestly
has.
think that's what's going to happen because if you look at the direction from
If you want to watch a new version of Poltergeist, just rent Insidious.
yeah
Yeah.
those guys were there.
Because
at
that was
the-
fantastic.
Yeah,
that was a
Insidious was
great
really good.
movie.
And it finally, there was a turn, It
Right,
was
right.
like, there's something different going on.
You know, that's a very good point. Insidious was sort of had that. It was kind of the same story.
I think
Well, the
that's-
tagline is,
Almost.
it's not the house that's haunted,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Really. Yeah.
I thought they were plugging
Yeah.
on the Annabelle because there's so many remakes of that coming.
no,
out.
I was thinking because Poltergeist was the haunted.
Well, and it
Yeah.
involved
Or
kids.
Yeah.
And I read one review that said like the greatest of the genre since Poltergeist of like haunted house movies, I'm assuming. And it is really good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I know we went in not
that
expecting.
and the others are probably like my two, the best since Poltergeist of haunted house. And Poltergeist is probably the best since A Haunting.
Did I
Or
tell
the
you
Haunted.
my?
What was the
my
1963?
I think it's
The Haunting.
The
A
Haunting. The Haunting.
The Haunting. That's fantastic.
I think that. Not that I mean the director of the others is Alejandro Amenabar. He's a Spanish director, and he would be a household name if it wasn't for M. Night Shyamalan. Because The Sixth Sense came out very shortly before the others.
Yeah.
And after The Sixth Sense, that zeitgeist of the
Yeah.
twist and they're really the ghost that was like already out there. And so when people watched the others, they were like, "Oh, I saw that coming a mile away. I'm not
Yeah.
impressed." Whereas
I still
think,
didn't see it.
I think that was a fucking great movie, and Amenabar did it much better than Shyamalan ever could have.
Yeah.
And-
I love The Sixth Sense, but the others has just got way more atmosphere,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and he scored it, which kind of angers me that he's awesome at everything. but it's a wonderful score, and I even watched some of the extras on it. I watched it a few months ago because I bought it on like Blu-ray like a couple years ago. I'm like, it's finally this is time. And they showed how they added all the fake fog and atmosphere and blew it up and blew
Yeah,
it up.
that was a good movie.
Like added color tones and stuff. So,
Bring that closer.
oh, my mic is slipping again. There we go. That better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that as much I like it a lot, and I think the others is underrated.
Definitely. Village of the Damned, if they hadn't already
Yeah.
remade it in another crappy way.
Remake the remake.
What else? There's one. Really, a lot of the. God damn, this thing's moving. There's a lot of the William Castle movies that could be remade, which that one company started out doing that did 13 Ghosts and
Right.
what was the one before that? Also, I don't think Ghost Ship was one of his, but that's I think an old one. And damn it, what was before 13 Ghosts? Haunted Hill.
The House on Haunted Hill.
House on
Oh,
Haunted
yeah.
Hill, which
Yeah.
I did love that remake.
Yeah.
It was fun. They really amped it up because the original was an awful movie.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Rush looks amazing as looking as close to as anybody can to Vincent Price
Yeah.
in that movie. So that was a good one. And the 13 Ghosts was okay but all of William Castle's stuff is schlock. You know.
Right.
I don't know. Remake The Tingler. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, that's tough to decide. Like answering that question myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would.
I'd like to see a new wave of actually that movie The Raven's playing now, even though it's not based on the poem. I think it would be cool to see a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe stories. Yeah. Amped up with today's stuff.
See, I wouldn't want to see the Tingler remade because
that might be bad because it's so
movie,
cheesy.
But right, because it's Vincent Price doing what he does best.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see anybody. I don't think anybody else could do it as well as he did.
But The House on Haunted Hill was really good.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a really tough question.
What if we only do it? What if we have to get Jeffrey Rush to agree to it? He's the only man who will be allowed to portray Vincent Price. Yeah, I don't know.
That's hard to think, It's like as much as I kind of like Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong, right? I kind of did, but then at the same time, I love the 33 King Kong. It's so good, and Peter Jackson could have made any movie in the world.
Yeah,
he decided to remake King Kong. And he says
I'm going to redo Casablanca.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. I'm sort of of two minds about it because I don't know. Like what does that say? Like oh, this is my favorite movie ever. If that really was his favorite movie, was King Kong. This is my favorite movie ever, and I can do it better.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just What is that? I don't know what that says.
Well, it's like if I tried to redo Big Trouble in Little China.
I love Big Trouble in Little China.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, man.
Yeah, I wish like Hollywood had this mindset that instead of
respecting
doing,
the film.
Yeah, why? I understand why, because they're like, we'll bring this movie to a new generation of audiences. You don't really have to do that because now we live in the age of, digital files and DVDs and Blu-rays. If I want to experience Poltergeist, I just rent it and play it, and there it is. And if you haven't seen it before, it's new to you.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are jaded by effects now.
Well, that's the thing is like, I don't know how much of it's true because I've never seen a study or anything.
Have to slap the kids around and be like, "Look, bitches, they didn't have it back then."
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like, we do the same thing. We watch movies that we saw when we were kids and we watch them now and we're just like, "Oh my god, that's horrible!" Like The Beast Within. You watch it now and you fall asleep, like in the first 5 seconds of it. It's the movie that.
Is that a werewolf movie?
I don't know. I fall asleep every time I try to watch it now. It's almost like
I've been trying to get Jan to watch it because I think I know what you're talking about. It's like it's always one of those like midnight movies in the like box that they used to show.
Yeah,
and she refuses to watch. She's like, "It's total crap." And I'm like, "It looks great."
It looks great, but it is total crap because it's like it plays out.
Yeah.
Like a TV sitcom, or not a sitcom, but a TV made-for-TV movie drama. Because even in this is a film. This is a movie that people went to the theaters to see. And just like on TV back in the day when we were growing up, where they would play a scene and then the screen would go black and it'd be the white font.
Yeah,
they did that, and you're just like,
that's
I'm waiting for.
I watched Burnt Offerings. It's like a 70s. Kind of possessed house movie, and shit, I wish Jan was here. She'd know everybody that was in it, and it did get very high marks when I went online, but I loved it. It was just there's something about those movies I like about the house that's an entity that
ghost stories are just really good. Like The Fog was great.
I finally just watched that like maybe 6 months ago.
Really?
It's one of those things that if
The Fog or The Mist?
Lighthouse. Which one had the lighthouse?
The Fog. There's a John Carpenter.
Yeah. One of those that I'm sure you had to grow up with it to love it to a certain level. It was just kind of like, okay. Definitely not one of his best.
Yeah.
But not awful, just kind of middle of the road.
I don't know. I like the pirate zombie things.
Yeah.
I like the Golden Cross.
Yeah.
I was like, you remember growing up when you were a kid. I've been trying to think of like what movie I saw that was a remake, because when you were a kid, you saw movies one of two ways. You either went to the theater, or you saw it when it was new, or you caught that it was going to be on HBO or late night TV, and you made a point to watch it. Like hey, this is on. I'm gonna. Otherwise, you didn't have the opportunity.
Because that's an event,
But now, like, so then I could understand remaking movies then, because you probably never saw the original.
Right, and it was hard to get a copy.
Right, and it was probably difficult to do so. But now, if you want to watch Poltergeist, you just Netflix it or rent it. Everybody should have seen Poltergeist. Like, why not just watch Poltergeist? Why do I have to watch a remake of Poltergeist that probably won't be as good?
Well, I mean, yeah, you could say everybody should have seen it, but there's a 14-year-old out there that's never seen Poltergeist.
And they shouldn't be listening to this show.
Yeah. Yeah. We're taking this to the middle schools, goddammit. This is our
we got a campaign going
on.
I used to have this vision of like these studio executives, and one guy's like, "Hey, let's remake Poltergeist. All right, here, throw some money at it, and
throw a name on it."
And and somebody's like, "Well, it won't be any good," and the guy's like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to do as good a job."
I really wish they'd. I really hope they don't think that way.
I don't know, man. I see what you've done to me. I'm a cynic now.
How have I done this to you?
I've seen it happen.
Rubbed off.
That's like
osmosis. Now you're the chipper one.
Yeah, man. That's like blaming me for that because I opened your eyes.
Yeah.
You were blind, my child, and now you can see. With wisdom comes great sorrow and all that crap.
And I am so sorrowful. I cry every day.
The world has smited me down.
Oh, that's terrible.
Nerds.
Oh, damn, man. All right, what do we got next besides Poltergeist?
Well, let's talk about Guillermo del Toro.
No, I have ruined Bob's life. But you know what I am? I'm like in Train Spotting. I'm Ian McGregor, and you're that guy whose video I stole.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. You were the good guy.
It's not going to turn out well for me, is
no,
it?
apparently not.
Damn it.
Sad.
Turn back while you can, Bob. Choose designer luggage. Choose VCRs.
Man, now I want to go watch Train Spotting again.
I watched it not that long ago. Jan wanted to watch it. And I was like,
somebody will remake it.
Yeah. And now we got the Velvet Goldmine on our next in our queue, which is a really good movie.
That is a good movie.
Yeah, it's just... Man, we're just all over.
It's
It's like a fucking Clive Barker book up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was complaining about some shit I do.
That's what happens. So Guillermo del Toro is a producer of a new film that's based on a true story.
Have you read about these guys, the Benders?
I have not. What do you know about them?
It's pretty fucked up.
Well, I knew it's fucked up, but tell us the story.
So the story is that there's this family, and it was, what are their names? John and Kate?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Plus 8.
Yeah. So it was I guess nobody really knows who they are, because it's they really can't prove who they are. The speculation is that they were German immigrants, and they were in their...
This is in the 19th century.
It's post-Civil War.
Yeah.
And I don't know, 1834 I think was the date I read. Whatever. I don't know, when was the Civil War? They were in where did they say they were in Kansas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it was, back in the days when they had they moved the Indians out and then opened up the land to prospectors and homesteaders.
Right.
And they were homesteaders out there, and they built a house. And so it's the elderly couple, John and Kate, and they think that they were German immigrants. And then they had two, which they say that they were their son and daughter, who were also named John and Kate.
Yeah, that is a sign of a fucked up family.
Well, but the speculation is that they really weren't their children, and the younger John and Kate weren't siblings at all, that they were possibly married. I don't know why they were all together. and then there's like some stories about how the elderly couple were mean and crazy. Like the woman had some kind of local nickname that, you know, she was like a local she-devil. They had a reputation for being mean and crazy.
Wow.
And then things started happening where people started disappearing. Mm-hmm. And there was not much they could do about it because, one, it was like the frontier.
Yeah.
And people disappeared all the time. But then too many people started to disappear.
Right.
And then the wrong person disappeared, who was like the brother of a senator or something like that. And so then they start looking for him, and the trail eventually leads back to these people. And I don't even know what the motive was for killing all these people, but apparently what they would do is they built a big house, and they had half of it cordoned off. And they say it was like divided into rooms, but by divided they mean like they had a canvas dividing them up, right? Mm-hmm. It was just like wagon canvas that was dividing up the room. And they ran like a general store out of the front part, and they lived in the back, and they would have people ostensibly stay with them. And then I guess the motive was robbery, because while the guy was sitting at the table having dinner, somebody would distract him, and somebody would sneak up behind the canvas curtain and like whack him on the head with a hammer.
Well, the premise on this is that there was a trap door. And then
there was and so there was also the kitchen table was over a trap door, and so they would whack them on the head with a hammer and knock them out or stun them, and then somebody would cut their throat, and then they would dump them down into the cellar. And from there, they would, like loot the bodies and take whatever valuables they had, and even the sort of like the trail itself, of like how they found these people out, even that was like really convoluted, because when they went to, go get them, I guess that the four people knew that they had been found out, and so then they left. So when they went. When the investigators went to the house, it had been abandoned for several days. Yeah. And then they find like their wagons and horses several days later abandoned, and so they were sort of like in the wind. And then because it was in a time when, like nobody was walking around with a driver's license or a passport, so you could be anybody anywhere. Yeah. And so there's all these stories about so-and-so getting arrested, and they think it's him, and then it's not, and then it is. People got hung that were not really involved, and it's a big sordid affair. But I guess there was something about when they went to the house and found out where all this stuff was going on, they found like bullet holes in the opposing wall where the person would be sitting that got whacked in the head, and they're thinking like maybe that person fought back or wasn't stunned. So there's all, who knows what could have happened in there. Yeah. And I guess they found buried, when they went looking, they found 11 bodies buried around the house in different shallow graves.
So what do you think of Del Toro producing a film on such caliber?
I think it would make a great story.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm in for it already.
You're like, let's
watch it.
I mean, but it's one of those things like, you can take what you do know, and then you can fill in any blank you want.
Yeah,
and it's the frontier, so who knows what was happening? And there's an element where the one younger Kate was also, they were spiritualists, so she was into seances. Yeah. And she was, she was purported as a medium. So now there's like this supernatural element that you can throw in there. That's going to make a fucking great movie.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm excited about it. But there's hardly any information other than it's based on the true story. Del Toro is going to be the producer, and the film is going to be called the Bloody Benders, which I think
sounds like a winner.
Yeah, it really does.
Sounds like the best thing I've heard.
It's really good. But I want to take a moment, and since we're all talking about Del Toro, take a word from our sponsor, audible.com. You can go to audibletrial.com/TTD and get a free 30-day trial and a free audio download. It costs you nothing. Just try it out, and it helps us a lot. by doing so. So just go to audibletrial.com/TTD. And there's a book that I recommend downloading. It's book 1 of a series, and it's written by Del Toro and Chuck Hogan, not Hulk Hogan, Chuck Hogan. And it's narrated by Ron Perlman.
Right on, brother.
Yeah. So, and the book is The Strain, and it's awesome.
It's narrated by Ron Perlman.
That's all you need to know is Ron Perlman narrates it. And Bob is a big fan of Ron.
Oh, Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. He's good. Well, he's also one of those actors. He's kind of like Nicolas Cage.
I saw that coming as soon as you said he's. And I automatically saw that little bubble go. Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch.
Yeah, with Nicolas Cage. Oddly enough,
I love that movie. It is so even Ron Perlman cannot save this movie. The part with the dialogue and they're talking, he's like, "After this, we will come to the land of my birth, and we will tell tales that have been told by no man, and no man shall tell the tale that could be believed and told." And they're just like, yeah, it's just awful.
But he does better in the reading of this book.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I mean, you work with what you got,
Do you, have you guys been? I've been watching Sons of Anarchy, and Perlman is in that. He's great.
I haven't watched
so good
any
in
of
that,
those.
man. He's like, he does this thing where he walks this line where he's not just an anti-hero. He's the hero and the villain all at the same time. He's really good.
Awesome.
I know. I did finally watch In the Name of the Rose not that long ago, and the what I'm talking about, Sean Connery, and he's the Ron Perlman is the hunchback in it.
Really?
Yeah, with the jacked up hair, man. He's long. It's all in patches, and he's just speaking in a broken mix of Italian and Latin and God knows what else. That was weird.
I have this suspicion that Ron Perlman is part Cro-Magnon with that big forehead and the way his head is.
I saw
he's a scary looking dude.
I saw a picture the other day of what's the actor's name? Is it Sean Bean, the guy that's in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Sean Bean.
And it had he
was in Game of Thrones.
I haven't finished watching it.
Oh.
I just started. So, oh well. At least I know how that ends. And it had a list of every way he had died, every movie, and it was just insane. It just kept going and going. Pulled apart, arrows.
Yeah.
Arrowed.
So anyway, if you want to listen to a book narrated by Ron Perlman, written by Del Toro,
we were done.
No,
Sorry,
because we didn't even tell what the book was about.
We didn't even say the name of the book.
They just said the name of the book, who wrote it, and who narrates it. So if you want to go check it out,
your sentence on your lilt went down. It was. We assumed it was over.
Well, anyway, just go check out audibletrial.com/TTD. That's the Talking Dead. And pick up any book, not just this one, any book for free with your free 30-day trial.
Any book read by Ron Perlman.
Definitely. Good stuff. So, what?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I've got nothing now.
Okay, well.
I was on a roll.
You know the Graveyard Book?
Yes.
Gaiman? Disney has struck a deal to pick up the rights to do this.
Yeah, and it's even better.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Henry Selick's going to direct.
Really?
Yep.
So you're excited about this?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you excited?
Henry Selick is the guy that directed The Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach. He's the go-to guy for stop-motion animation.
Yeah.
And this is what this is going to be?
I don't know. I hope.
Yeah. Okay, so me and my wife were talking about it, if it was going to be stop-motion or not. It seemed like the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman and Disney.
And Henry Selick also directed Coraline, too, which was another good movie.
Coraline?
Which was a great movie.
Yeah, that was good.
So you have high hopes for this one?
I do.
Or they could even go the Monster House way, which isn't stop motion, but
either
Well,
way.
that's kind of what Henry Selick does, though. He's
does.
the stop motion guy. I mean, that's just I don't know. But that doesn't mean that people can't branch out. Like Brad Bird was a Pixar guy, and he directed the new Mission Impossible movie, Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
So I'm happy when directors branch out and do new things.
So
That's cool.
these three people together to do this
it's a
film
win-win.
is
Win.
good. Is happy for you.
Win.
Awesome.
That
Well-
was clever. Wasn't it? It's like saying me 3 after somebody says.
Well, at CinemaCon, Fox chairman hinted out that there is going to be a sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
excited?
we talked about that because you don't have to have a remake of Planet of the Apes. There was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then at some other point there was the Planet of the Apes movie, and now there's all this space in between.
There's a big bunch of space.
You
in
could
between.
tell a lot of stories in this spot without having to redo this one.
Because over here is fucking way crazy.
Yeah.
You know, there were degrees of crazy, I guess, before it got to.
Yeah, I think there's lots of stories to be
Buried,
told in that world.
So you're excited about it?
Yeah,
having
that
another...
could be good.
But you liked the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. You
I
thought it
did. I was
really good?
surprised at how good it was.
So was I. And then I suggested it to a guy at work who went out and bought it, and then watched it and said it was the worst film he'd ever seen. I was just like,
He's never listening to you again.
yeah.
And you're like, I didn't say buy it, dude.
I know. I said watch
It's
it,
fucking
man.
on Netflix.
Damn.
That's funny. Speaking, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anchor Bay has announced that they claim the rights to the new film Vamps, which I thought it was going to be a remake of the original. Yeah. But
That's the one with
Jim Carrey.
No. Jim Carrey was
Once Bitten.
Oh, Once Bitten. That's right. Vamps was
Chick with red hair, 80s.
Yeah.
Grace Slick.
Which I still
No.
haven't seen. But
Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Grace Slick was Jefferson Airplane. Grace Jones.
Grace Jones is in there?
That Amazonian chick. She was
Yeah.
that black woman. She's like, she was really big. She was in
Yeah,
a Bond film. She was a Bond villain.
I didn't know she
Yeah.
was in that.
And then she was also in the one of the Conan movies. She was in Conan.
That's right.
The Destroyer.
Conan the Destroyer, which was awful, but whatever.
I always wanted to see her get in a fight with Tina Turner in the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how far along are you in Game of Thrones?
The best scene just happened where that I cannot for the life of me remember anybody's name.
Yeah, it's tough.
There's
a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information
So-
that comes at you quick.
The thin, regal, blonde-haired douchebag
Jaime
Khaleesi.
Lannister.
There's Khaleesi, right? She goes off to like the horse people.
That's Daenerys.
Okay.
Daenerys Targaryen.
He just got his his
her
golden
brother,
crown.
Yeah, her brother got
That was where it was at, where
Yeah.
he demanded his payment, and because he wanted his gold crown.
Yeah.
And the husband was like,
Yeah, and
"I've
Khal
got your
Drogo
gold."
fixes him, but good.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah,
but
Khal
what's
Drogo
weird,
is great.
it's like watching Dave Navarro on steroids.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I'm like, holy shit, Dave Navarro is badass.
Yeah, that guy Jason Momoa, he was Conan in the Conan remake, or not the remake, but the new Conan movie,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a remake, and he was great as Conan. He did a really good job. It was
Who,
just the movie was crap. The guy that plays Khal Drogo is
Oh, okay,
Jason
okay.
Momoa, and he's great as Khal Drogo.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it. I want those people to rule the entire world.
Yeah, the Dothraki.
Yeah, I've made my pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, what was her brother's name? Because he
I can't remember.
He got
but
killed. I'm reading the second book now, and it's the whole thing is like complex and stuff. But I saw the funniest goddamn Saturday Night Live skit that I have seen in a long time.
Jan saw it. I was in the bathroom. I went and saw it the other day. Is it the Game of Thrones kid?
Yes. Have you seen it, Jason?
I have not.
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
It is a booby fest.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot of
Actually,
there's a lot of fucking going on in that movie.
This makes
for no other reason.
this makes the it's HBO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes Rome look a little tame
Yeah,
at
yeah.
times.
So there was a Saturday Night Live skit where they're talking about Game of Thrones and like the actors are talking about like how great it is to work on the set.
So they have two specialists.
Yeah,
right?
he's like, we have two specialists on set to ensure that we're doing things right. And one of them was a guy dressed as George R. Martin, who's the author, and he's like, I'm here to make sure that the movies adhere to the books. And they're like, and our other specialist is a 14-year-old boy.
And they're talking about how great he is, and it's Andy Samberg.
Yeah, Samberg.
And he's like, the guy just knows exactly where to position everybody and how to fix every scene. And I'll be like, I think we should have two people doing it doggy style on the ottoman over there, and then someone having sex in the foreground right here, and then they'll show it, and the kid. He takes a lot of bathroom breaks.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's like, bathroom break. It was pretty cool.
That was really funny.
Damn this thing.
Especially having watched Game of Thrones, and just like, there's like this internet meme going around where like Game of Thrones, it's medieval fantasy or is it porn? I don't know. It's both.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the fantasy world so great. I mean,
yeah.
At 14, Conan the Barbarian was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I remember watching it, and I had just seen it on TBS, and I wanted to rent it and watch it again, so my dad rented it for me, and he was like, I think you'll enjoy this one more. and so I'm like watching it like in our other room, I was just like, holy crap, it's just like, oh.
Yeah. Man, so, I didn't mean to spoil anything about Sean Bean, but
damn, I like him too. He's like the main guy.
I've been told that throughout because there's like 5 other books, and they're all bricks. I mean, there's there's a lot of there, and everybody that I know that has read them, they all say the same thing. They're like, if you really like a character, like, don't get too attached to anybody.
Really,
because nobody's safe.
That's funny. It's funny how. Yeah, because I just started watching it, so then I had to go find that skit because all of a sudden it's hilarious. Like, I hadn't watched Mad Men, and I finally got into it. Now I'm all caught up in watching the new ones, and so I've gone back online to see what I could of the different ones where John Hamm has been on.
Yeah.
And I love the one where he's like talking about how to get women, the Don Draper way, and he's like, rule number 1, just don't say anything. And he just stands there. And like they're all doing whatever. Have a good name. And, yeah. One guy's like, my name is Esther Eskenstein or something, and then he's like, I'm John Hamm, and the woman's like, well, let's just get me out of this skirt. and then they're all simple, and then the 4th rule is look good. Yeah. Sound good. Smell good. Do your job good. Do everything good. Have sex good. Have this good. Basically, be Don Draper. And it was that's awesome.
Yeah, Don Draper. Be good at everything.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. I'm really into the game of. I know it sounds so dirty and fanboy, but I'm like super into Game of Thrones right now, and like I want somebody to talk to about it.
Well, it's funny because. So, Jan's getting into it too. We watch it together, and we're going to. So I was looking for Caves of Steel, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm always going back and forth. Do I want horror? Do I want to go sci-fi? I mostly read horror, but every once in a while, I'm like, I really want some robots. God damn it! But they always put the sci-fi in with the fantasy, and we're watching Game of Thrones, and I'm just like. Should I get a Dragonlance book? Should I? I haven't read one of those since 10th grade, and now part of me really wants to like dork out in fantasy world. So, but there's so many to choose from, and you're like, you don't know what's good.
Yeah, there's still a lot of crap.
Yeah, there's definitely it's a heavy, and it heavily leans towards the crap.
Yeah, but when it's good, it's good.
Yeah, it really is. I used to read all these books by, what's his name? Raymond E. Feast.
Raymond E. Feast, right.
Yeah. First book I ever read. Something was about like the Magician's Apprentice or something like that.
Yeah.
And because my mom had always tried to get me, you need to read. And it was like Reader's Digest, like suggestions for your kid. You know, it was like the boy who blew bubble gum and floated away. It was just all this crap, right? So I never did it. And we never had comics or anything where I lived because we just had like a Beelo, you know, that had Mad Magazine was pretty much the craziest thing you could find, and some Archie comics. So yeah, my older sister had one of those, and it was late. I was like 14 or something before I finally read a decent novel that wasn't, you know, required for anything. It was fucking fantastic. I went through like the whole series of that. So yeah, maybe I'll go back to the fantasy world. Game of Thrones is the shit, though.
Yeah, it's a cool show.
Even if you're not into the story, stay for the boobs.
Yeah.
You know? Guaranteed at least 3 pair, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of boobs.
And they vary it. They give you redheads, blondes, all exotic women. Yeah, they definitely handpick their and what's the name of the actor that's the
the dwarf?
Yeah.
Tywin or Tyrion Lannister?
Yeah.
It's Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
Who was in Norfolk.
Oh, that was the guy. Sorry, I can never remember anybody's names. Fantastic.
Yeah,
watch it just for him.
Yeah.
If he dies, people will stop watching.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
All right, I guess we should move on.
Yeah, like
the punctuations are getting slower.
I'm almost finished the second book.
Yeah.
And
are the books good?
Yeah, they're very good. But they're like bricks too, man. They're like 700-800 pages.
Wow.
And I'm almost done the second book.
Like big print, or
yeah. If it was regular print, probably be 45. And I'm almost finished the second book, and now I'm like sort of looking forward to the third one because you sort of have this inkling of where you think the story's going to go, but there's like people you want to succeed, and there's people you want to just suffer. You know, like you just hate them so much. Yeah. He really does a good job with villains.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, they're just so bad. Everybody in that book is just. Man, when they're mean, they're really mean.
It's a rough world.
Yeah, even the good guys can be mean sometimes too. Yeah. It's pretty neat. I don't know. I'm like dorking out about it too. Right. Did you see when we were? I don't know. I just
what?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, to geek out on Paul's other side of sci-fi, let's talk about robots. There is a sequel to the game War for Cybertron, and it's Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Have you seen it? Have you seen the trailers? You can play the Dinobots and everything. It looks really good. It looks awesome.
I think that game is like sort of a no-brainer. Like a movie with giant robots fighting each other, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A game where I can be the giant robot and smash the shit out of the other
and
giant
transform.
Robot.
And they brought back the Dinobots. They brought the Dinobots in this one. So all the trailers and stuff have been showing, transforming in T-Rex and blowing fire.
I never understood those though.
With the Dinobots?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
It's like so you get these robots that want to blend in, so they turn into our forms of transportation, and then you even got ones that start turning into obviously mechanical. Animals we have, like a tiger or whatever.
Right.
But then out of somebody has been going through the fossil records at the Smithsonian, and these robots were like, fuck it, we're doing dinosaurs.
Well, see, what happened was
like there's no trilobite running around.
Right.
They've been around forever, and back in the days of dinosaur, there was some shit going on, and they had to come set it straight.
I completely accept that.
I just made that up.
I remember watching.
And it's been X million years, and they haven't changed.
So you remember when the Transformers cartoon came on? That was like that. It was the beginning of that era where the cartoon was just a half-hour commercial for the toys.
Yeah.
So they were just trying to build a story around
this cool
a
thing.
toy.
Yeah.
And they're trying to
Boys like
maybe
dinosaurs.
Hollywood should just make some toys.
But I always had like questions about it too, because if you watch the cartoon, what happened was the robots, they get stranded on Earth, and then this little drone robot comes out, and he fixes them all. And in fixing them all, he went around and like looked at other things and made the robots look like the cars so that they could blend in. It was exactly that, so they could blend in and hide.
I don't remember that much.
So they could hide in plain sight. But I always remember thinking the little drone goes out and it's like, Mack truck, you're a Mack truck, awesome, you're a big Mack truck. And then it's like, you're a little VW bug.
Yeah.
Like, that's sort of unfortunate.
Yeah, well.
And I always thought,
but they all kind of the same size. Like,
yeah. Why couldn't, and one of the things was that all the Autobots were cars and all the Decepticons were planes, except for
holy shit,
Megatron.
never put that together.
Megatron, which was a big ass gun.
He turned into a gun that went in the other guy's hand. I don't know. That was weird too.
Yeah.
But I was just
maybe they were gay.
Why? If all the Autobots were cars,
why didn't they get to choose?
Why didn't one of the Autobots go like, "Hey, can we be a jet too?" Because that seems like an obvious advantage.
No, they didn't say, "Can we be a jet?" They go, "Can I be a tape cassette?"
Yeah. The tape cassette was
probably because they were socialist.
Yeah.
Or communist, and they like, we've ran tests. You would be best as a VW bug. This is where you excel.
Yeah, I mean, it's just shit.
Our people excel on the ground. Yeah.
And like I'm sure, like the guy who's a VW bug, which was Bumblebee. But
I want to be a rocket.
Yeah, like how about like the one guy who's like a Jaguar, like this Jag car, or like a Lamborghini, and the guy's like, "Damn it, I'm a fucking VW bug. Why couldn't I be the Lamborghini?"
I'm the people's wagon. This is great.
Made by the same company. It's all right.
Yeah.
But
he was powered by Mattel, so they're all fast.
Yeah.
You never saw him going down behind 4 cylinders going hitching in the back. So they definitely
that would have changed. That would have changed if they had put realism into it. That would have totally changed the whole battle.
Everybody would have been like, "Where's Bumblebee?" He broke down again.
Yeah. He's on the side. He overheated.
Yeah. It's a bunch of hippies smoking weed in him right now.
Yeah, that would be the boss.
The buzz.
Wouldn't that be a cool transfer if he was the VW boss and he had like a little hippie headband and a peace sign? And he was always
stop selling macrame on the roadside and get here, man.
The Transformer
you guys
bomb.
are just so intense. You're way too intense, man.
Buzzatron or
It'll
something.
be awesome. It'd totally get Matthew McConaughey to voice him.
They're fighting and he's playing bongos.
Yeah, I love that skit. Hey, man. Me and my wife are always talking about, not always, but every once in a while, I'll just be like, what's celebrity? Because we're not celebrity like people at all. But we will, ask the question, who would you want to hang out with? And Matthew McConaughey always comes
That's your
up.
Go-to guy?
Yeah, like, he doesn't seem like he'd be an asshole. He might make you some Thai food, And he'd be down with my didgeridoo. He'd be like, "Yeah, man, lay down a drone." And I'd be like, "Cool. You want to fly to Bali? Let's go, man." It would just be like, awesome.
He had you a didgeridoo.
Yeah. Well, I was watching the Saturday Night Live skit with the guy that does like CeeLo, and he has like his freak show or whatever. And his special guest was Matthew McConaughey. And he came out with bongos just covering his crotch. And he's all like, "Hey, man, let's get freaky," And then the CeeLo guy's like, "I had on my Teletubby suit and I was rubbing baby oil on." And it's all creepy. And it's weird.
So it's like an episode of this show.
It's like an episode of this show.
Or the after show.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the after party.
Yeah.
It's the behind the scenes look.
You got to bring your didgeridoo next time, man.
Okay.
You should totally bring your didgeridoo. I think that'd be cool.
I've got 2.
I want to try it. I want to try to play it.
They're not actually authentic. They're
I wouldn't know.
No. I was gonna say one of them actually. The guy who made it did a really good job. Looks like wood. It's he bent it and did all this cool like heating up the PVC. And the other one is pure ghetto. It's a PVC pipe that I found under a house.
Because it's sanitary.
Yeah, I know. God knows how long it had been out there. But and then
put your mouth on it, blow on it. What is this?
I trimmed some of it up, and it wasn't. I trimmed too much of it off, and I was at the place I worked, and they had an old radiator hose sitting around, so I slapped it on the end, so it's a straight pipe, and then this radiator hose that just curls out, but it makes the most awesome like low A note ever, and then I found out that the PVC has my name written on it. It says Paul. That it was just like a random weird, and that pink thing, ordained by nobody, but still really cool. So yeah, I have two, and yeah, I'll bring them over.
Now, what do you mean? There's a guy in the factory. I'm gonna write Paul on this because I know one day
in Virginia there will be a boy.
I didn't even know you could like homemade didgeridoos. I don't know.
You can use.
I don't even know what's involved.
I want Paul to go get checked out because all the diseases he's got from picking up random hoses.
Matter of fact, I used to have a little, like from a chain link fence, the steel part on the top, not one of the posts down, and used to be able to take that and the other didgeridoo and hold them together and get two out and make a cord with it. Didn't last very long because there's a lot of fucking air to, go in and out. But just a tube out of a hard substance. So originally it's just a tree branch, a eucalyptus tree branch that had been hollowed out by termites.
Right.
And someone took it and went inside, and there's your note. And then you move your tongue in different spots in your mouth to create different harmonics and different like then you can growl, and it makes like a lower tone, so it mixes with the other one, and they do like animal sounds and stuff like that, bird calls through it, and it's very hypnotic if it's done well.
I can just see you sitting at home like just hanging out playing my didgeridoo.
That was it too, man. I'd go to my room. Parents would be like, "Oh, Paul's playing his didgeridoo again. Big old loser in high school." Or maybe it was after that, but I still lived at home.
There was something going on. Speaking of didgeridoo,
used it on 3 albums.
We know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D is coming out, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about this before, and the rumors are that it's going to pick up where the very first one left off. Right, that's what we've heard. Well, the plot summary has been released, and I'm confused. So, by thinking that this is picking up as soon as the first one left off, here's the plot summary. The story centers around Heather Miller as she makes a trip to a small town, Texas, to collect her inheritance. Unaware that her inheritance includes a live item, her cousin, the notorious serial killer Leatherface. How does that? Didn't the first one? Didn't the girl get away? He cut off his arm. What?
I don't know. Like, does she get
she
him in
killed,
a box? Here's your cousin. It's Leatherface. You take care of him, or
is this gonna?
Is probably a big cage with a giant one of those hamster things where you just touch the water ball and it comes out.
Is this gonna be like the new beginning of Friday the 13th, where Jason's not really in it, but she's inspired by, killing and what?
And sometimes I think like these sequels of remakes of sequels, it's just a cash grab.
Let's remake the sequel.
Let's
make the sequel to the remake of the sequel.
That's what it is. That's where it's going.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
I would love that pitch though. Like nobody wants to remake the original. These guys I want to remake Friday the 13th 8.
Yeah.
Like the others haven't been done yet, and he's just like 8. And
you
then
could
someone's making a part 2 of the sequel of 8. I mean, part 2 of the reimagining of part 8.
So I want to re-image Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone wants to make a sequel to that later.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's one ugly fucking tree with branches going everywhere.
It's pretty incestual, but I still don't understand. Because that's not how the first one I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the original.
Yeah.
But I don't. remember anything about.
After the,
I thought he cut off his arm.
I thought the thing.
Or
just hit his
he
leg.
cut something, right?
Yeah, he gouges his leg.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. Man, I haven't seen that in
And she killed. I don't know.
20 years or something.
Yeah, it's been forever.
You know, it's one of those things where they say like it takes up where the first one left off. Like, which first one?
Yeah.
Well, no, they said Toby's first one.
Well, yeah. Right, does it pick up like 5 seconds, or is it 5 years?
Well, the way I read it, and if I remember correctly, it said that it was taken immediately after the first one.
That doesn't sound like it.
No, it really doesn't.
No.
I mean,
I think we have been lied to.
well, we were always lied
Back
to by
the Future
Hollywood.
2 takes place right after the first one.
It does.
See
Or
that?
does
I
it?
love that.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
It's like
Does it really, or is that the second time he went back?
no, it does. Albeit with a different girl, so something has changed in the universe. Something with the space-time continuum got moved around, and it got moved around so much that apparently Michael J. Fox didn't even notice that his girlfriend had changed.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
No.
He's like, this one's an improvement. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave you on a porch anyway.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about the video game? I know you were excited about.
it looks cool. It looks fun. What do you think about the Tron watch?
I wish it was a Tron watch. Though.
It is a Tron watch.
No,
you
it's
can
not
buy
a Tron. I mean, it's inspired by.
It's inspired by Tron watch. It's not Tron brand. It doesn't have the Disney logo on it. I know that ruins it for you.
No,
but
what it ruins it for me, it doesn't have the triangle on it.
Did you watch the
T.
video for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you just looked at the pictures.
No,
or you
I watched the video because he demonstrated how you can tell the time by the
I love
darkness.
that you can charge it up USB.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. What we're talking about is this. It's an all LED watch where the band of the watch has like almost a 7, but it goes around.
Yeah, and
it's
the
lit.
circle in the
it's
middle.
it's lit by LEDs, and you can get. I think there's 3 colors, and there's 2 circles where the watch would be. The inside circle is the hour, and the outside circle is the minutes, and the armband lights are the second. And depending on the position on the circles of where the dark spaces are within the LED, that points at the number. There's really no numbers there, but it points where traditionally where there would be numbers, and depending on where the light is located on the armband tells you how many of the seconds it is. So you can look at it and go, it's 7:31, or 7:30, whatever. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, all of their watches are really bizarre ways of telling time. It's a company called Tokyo Flash that does it, and some of them are very clever, and some of them are just ridiculous. But
they look nice.
It's a fun site to look through, and a lot of them are only for a limited time. There was one that I wanted to order. I've never ordered anything from them, and it was kind of a square watch. It kind of had a really like a 50s, 60s moon base kind of vibe to it, and it was all black metal with just blue LEDs and a cool strap. And of course, now you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah. I think I would be more into it if I liked wearing things on my wrist. I don't like watches or anything.
I like watches, but they have to be really flat. Like the only watch that I normally wear is one made by the company Skagen. That's I think.
You mean Swatch? No, I'm just kidding.
And I mean, it's really minimal. It's titanium, and it's like not even a quarter inch off of my wrist, and then it's very thin and dainty.
Very, very delicate.
Yeah, delicate. We're watching Modern Family. It's a very delicate wrist. Yeah.
So you wouldn't get the new Sony smartwatch that hooks up to your Android phone?
No.
What does that do?
Nothing.
Oh.
It's funny because it's supposed to be. It's made by Sony, and it syncs via Bluetooth to your watch, to your phone, if you have an Android device. And you can see the time, and you can take photos. You can see the weather. You can check your tweets, your Facebook, and all that on your wrist, which sounds awesome.
It's on your phone that's already in your hand.
Well, no, it would be in your pocket.
Right.
So you wouldn't have to pull it out, which I think is an awesome idea. I can't wait till we get to the point where you have the video watch and you can do whatever. The downfall of the Sony watch is it it has to be connected to your watch. Even like if you're not in Bluetooth range or your phone is off, you can't even get the time. It's a complete accessory to the phone.
Yeah.
And like if you get a phone call, it shows up on your watch, so you can see who's calling. But if you answer, you can answer it by your watch, but you actually have to use the phone to talk to them. You can't even talk in the watch, which is dumb. And you can listen to your music, but you have to run the headphones through your phone in your pocket, which is it's just pointless.
Yeah, there's I had seen the.
It sounds like it does everything in your phone, only not as well.
Yeah.
Well, you can take a photo with it, but you can hold up your phone and look at the image.
Right. Right. So you go. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait until they make it into a ring.
Yeah,
or a press
or a hologram where it comes up.
I mean, it's getting too freaking small. I was looking at the like the iTouch Nano ones, the little square.
Well, that's the size of the new Sony watch. Yeah.
And they have the things you can like the straps for it, but it's still too big. And then you have to press it and wait for it to come on. And they're like, you can listen to your music, but you got to run your headphones from your wrist.
Yeah.
So, you've got this. It's ridiculous.
I mean, at work, I run
flip
headphones.
Flip it on and go ride my bike. Then,
yeah.
I
mean, at work, I listen to
like
podcasts.
Almost a good idea.
We're getting there. I mean,
right, but nobody's stopping it before production.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There should be some people going, wait.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Well, I think they also
had some issues. Fuck it, let's just build it.
I think they put it out there to get people to see what will stick and what people will like. But I mean,
well, that's
what they do. But with the Sony, with it not being independent, where you actually have to be synced just to even get the time, it is a flaw. I think they shouldn't have done that. I mean, since holograms are now big, since Tupac is back, it'd be cool to have the hologram.
He'd never gone, bro.
Huh? Yeah. It'd be cool to have a hologram pop up out of there.
If there was a picture being passed around Facebook that showed the Tupac hologram, and then there was Kanye West, and he's like, Tupac, I'll let you get back to this right now, but I just wanted to say that Princess Leia from Star Wars was the best hologram ever. It was just...
Oh man, I think Tupac is like one of those artists. Like he's releasing albums that like long after he's been dead.
Yeah, which
I hope
if
that happens to me.
His career is more successful now than ever when he was alive.
Well, they're talking about doing a tour with Tupac hologram, and they're also talking about doing a Michael Jackson tour with a hologram.
I hope there's a Tupac estate.
I hope family's making money off this and not the record company.
But what if you didn't want to? It's nothing you want to do. Like
you don't have.
I hated that douchebag, and then your posthumous hologram is doing a duet album with them, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Well, you did. So, I mean,
yeah, I guess so, but still.
But no, there's definitely some moral issues on that.
Some kind of. Maybe you want your memory or yourself to be
Total Recall
remembered in a certain way, and someone can just come along and make a hologram version of you, and then all of a sudden, he's selling like cleaners and products.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be like let's just in a fantasy world say that we've become famous and whatever, and I die, and then they make a hologram to do a KFC commercial for me.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like,
that's
what?
exactly it. And you're like, this is delicious, nutritious, comforting, and quality,
That would suck.
Yeah.
I would come back from the dead.
I admire the compassion of this meal. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Fuck that. But anyway, that's not going to happen. They're not going to do holograms.
I enjoy the Wendy's Baconator every day.
No, I don't.
Grown in tight cages.
Yeah, and you know what? They don't have to have your permission. They can just buy your likeness.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably from Mark Zuckerberg. Because all your shit's up there. So
it's a battle between them and Google.
Yeah.
I think Google's got me more than Mark does, though. I'm all over the Google. I got the new Google Drive. So I actually like the drive. Well, they were looking to, Google Docs, which we use to share information about the show. Well, they've gotten rid of Google Docs and now made it Google Drive, and it's now Google's cloud storage for documents. And so now I have a folder on my desktop that I can just work on, and it automatically syncs to Google Docs, which is now Google Drive. And it just makes it easier, and it's synced to all my devices, so I can work on documents. Me, you and your Google T-shirt. Look at you.
I know, but I don't know. Like I use Google Docs today, and I didn't even know there was a change.
That's how awesome it is.
Oh.
Now you got to tell them, okay, you want the drive.
Essentially, I mean, more or less kind of like Dropbox.
It is definitely like Dropbox. It even has the same feel of Dropbox, but there's more productivity aspect to it. Because, like, for example, the API for Google Drive is available for people to create on, and like Lulu, the self-publishing.
I don't even know what the hell API means. You got to back up.
Well, let me tell the story, and it will explain.
Then
so, like Lulu, the self-publishing company that's like where you can write a book and self-publish. Yeah. Well, they have an app now.
Horrible quality, though.
Yeah, but no. I mean, we can get into that later.
Lulu is no longer a sponsor of something.
It's Lulu, not Hulu. Hulu's something different.
I said Lulu.
No, I'm just kidding. Using the Google Drive API, they now have an app where you can automatically sync your book that you're writing with Lulu through. You can write it on Google Docs, and it will sync it, and you can publish it through Google Docs without having to go through their website and everything else. And so it just makes combining the things that I use easier than, like, Dropbox is great. I use Dropbox too to share just like quick things like photos and whatever, just with you guys and with the other shows. But for like documents and notes for the shows, I like Google Docs because I can use it on my tablet, my phone, my computer, and it just syncs it automatically.
By the way, IT and HR do not want you to send those pictures anymore from my company. So.
What?
Nothing.
They saw the So enough of that nerdum. Anything else?
No, wait. What is API?
Huh? I just told you. We'll
What's
talk
it
about
stand
it.
for?
I don't know what it.
Huh?
I don't know what it stands for. It's like I don't know. We'll look it up after the show.
Okay.
That's it for the show.
End on a bang, huh?
Yeah, boom. You have anything else you want to talk about?
My album's being mastered right now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is this? Scar Limit?
Yes. I didn't realize how long it was. It's 78 minutes of.
Really? How many songs?
15.
Oh, that's good. That's more songs than the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, usually I try and keep them around an hour. I'm actually worried that 78 minutes. Sometimes, an album can be too long, and you're just like, okay.
Tell that to Pink Floyd.
Yeah, their albums aren't 78 minutes long.
The Wall is 2 CDs.
Yeah, with like 30 minutes on each side. It's a total ripoff. But yeah, it's being mastered now, and all the artwork's been finalized, and hopefully it'll be sent off to duplication soon. It should be coming out the end of this month or the beginning of end of May or beginning of June, I think, on DSBP Records. Yeah, so,
awesome.
Also home to Aghast View and Diverge and other
Speak up, what?
Wonderful bands. So
you're gonna play live?
I had someone around here ask me. And then I had someone in Richmond actually contact me and ask me. I'm thinking about it, but I have no cash for the things I need to play live. But I'm talking.
You can just do it nude. You don't need that outfit.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Get
just
the
a
bongos,
gas mask, and my balls.
Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's it. It's weird. There were a lot more people in here when I started.
And now there's a lot more.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing at the garage over there.
Yeah, you need to have like that contract where you get like these riders where you just have like 5 bizarre things that you require.
Well, one of the guys has been asking me like, what is it going to take to get you to play out? Because I've been asked a couple times, And I gave them a list of just stupid stuff.
Just to see if they'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, knowing that, it was just wink, wink. But there's no writers in that scene for people that nobody's heard of.
I need 30 mini bologna sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
5 bottles of, Dr. Pepper aged 100 days.
Yeah.
No more Dr. Pepper.
And I don't know. I mean, I've heard of all these bizarre things that the artists require.
Well,
yeah, I think Mariah Carey is the worst of all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've read like stuff on her writers. Like the entire room has to be all white. Just weird stuff like that. And oddly enough, the person with the slackest writer was Lady Gaga.
Oh, really?
She wanted like a bottle of water and some Diet Coke. It's like
done.
It's like, I kind of like you. Your personality seems nice, but Mariah Carey supposedly has this horrible one. And I want to say I read an article that the Foo Fighters writer is like done in a comic book format or something. They did something weird with it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
show's done.
That's it. Show's done.
Winding it down.
Quite. That's it. So definitely go check out audibletrial.com/TTD. Get your free 30-day trial and your free audiobook. Thanks, Bob and Paul. Check out. Keep an eye.
I'll be more lively, less cynical next time. I promise.
Maybe. It's a downward spiral, dude.
It is. It is.
You've got
no hope. I cry all the time.
You do cry a lot.
I'm actually, I think, taking your energy. It's possible that I'm a psychic vampire. I had no idea.
Well, we're going to shut off the cameras now so Paul can suck Bob and
and you can take the picture.
And I can take the photos. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.